The Feast of Epiphany. Like many of the most ancient Christian feasts, Epiphany was first celebrated in the East, where it has been held from the beginning almost universally on January 6th. Today, among both Eastern Catholics and Eastern Orthodox, the feast is referred to as Theophany, which signifies the revelation of God to humanity. In most countries and dioceses of the Latin Rite, the celebration is moved to the Sunday between January 2nd and January 8th, inclusive. What is Epiphany? The Catechism of the Catholic Church number 528 and 535 states, "The Epiphany is the manifestation of Jesus as Messiah of Israel, Son of God and Savior of the world." The Great Feast of Epiphany celebrates the adoration of Jesus by the wise men, Magi, from the East, together with his baptism in the Jordan and the wedding feast at Cana in Galilee. Origins of Epiphany. The roots of the celebration of the Epiphany date back sometime between the 3rd and 6th centuries. In the early church, Christians, particularly those in the East, celebrated the advent of Christ on January 6th by commemorating Nativity, visitation of the Magi, baptism of Christ, and the wedding of Cana, all in one feast of the Epiphany. By the 4th century, both Christmas and Epiphany had been set as separate feasts in some dioceses. At the Council of Tours in 567, the Church set both Christmas Day and Epiphany as feast days on December 25th and January 6th, respectively, and named the 12 days between the feasts as the Christmas season. Over time, the Western Church separated the remaining feasts into their own celebrations, leaving the celebration of the Epiphany to commemorate primarily the visitation of the Magi to see the newborn Christ on January 6th, though it's often observed on Epiphany Sunday, the Sunday between January 2nd and 8th. Epiphany customs. In many parts of Europe, the celebration of Epiphany is considered at least as significant as Christmas. In England and its historical colonies, the tradition has long been to exchange gifts on Christmas Day itself. In contrast, in Italy and other Mediterranean countries, Christians typically exchange gifts on Epiphany, the day the wise men presented their gifts to the Christ child. In Northern Europe, these two traditions have often merged, leading to gift-giving on both Christmas and Epiphany. Historically, however, the main day for gift-giving in both Northern and Eastern Europe was usually the Feast of St. Nicholas. In some American families, children open all their gifts after attending Mass for the Epiphany feast. Epiphany in the Bible. The Gospel reading on the Epiphany, which tells the story of the 3 wise men arriving in Bethlehem to find Jesus, comes from Matthew, chapter 2. The Magi. The Magi were not kings, but a caste of Persian priests who served kings, using their skills in interpreting dreams and watching movements of stars. The 6th century Italian tradition that there were 3 Magi, Caspar, Balthazar, and Melchior, is based on the fact that 3 gifts are mentioned in Matthew's Gospel: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The gifts. Saint Irenaeus, who lived in the 2nd century, tells us that the gift of gold symbolizes the kingship of the Lord. The gift of frankincense symbolizes the divinity of the Lord. And the gift of myrrh, which was used for embalmment and burial, symbolizes the crucified Savior. Pope Francis, during his 2023 homily on the Epiphany, shared a new perspective on the Magi. He said the Magi received the gift of call, God calling them, the gift of discernment, being able to ignore Herod and choose God's way, the gift of surprise, meeting God in a humble manger. And he went on to say, these are the calls that we all receive. We are all called by Jesus, we can all discern his presence, and we can all experience his surprises. Let us worship Jesus at Mass, every day if we can, with the gold of our love, the myrrh of our humility, and the frankincense of our adoration. The star. Commentary on the Torah by Jewish rabbis suggested that a star appeared in the sky at the births of Abraham, Isaac, and Moses. Likewise, in the book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 17, the prophet Balaam speaks of a star that shall come out of Jacob. Stars were believed to be signs from God, announcing important events. Thus, the brightness of the light to which the wise men were drawn was made visible in the star they followed. They were led by God's power to Christ and brought gifts to him and his family, to Mary and Joseph, as Isaiah and the psalmist foresaw. Let us become stars, leading others to Jesus, as the star led the Magi to him. We can remove or lessen the darkness of the evil around us by being, if not like stars, at least like candles, radiating Jesus' love by selfless service, unconditional forgiveness, and compassionate care.